Hey guys, and welcome to the first ACC video on this channel. What you're going to be watching right now is myself doing a leagues race over with the Valley Racing Discord server ran by an awesome guy called Bren, and we actually qualified in third place. This is just literally the formation lap. I'm pretty sure it's like half a lap or something. We got one more turn and then we actually get started. So this is the first time I've actually partaked in some sort of league, and it's actually a lot of fun. I did miss the first actual race. There is, I think, 6 or 7 tracks we're doing. Watkins Glen, Donnington. Next week is Kalami, then Paul Ricard, Brands Hatch, and then finally Bathurst, which is Mount Panorama. So here we go, crossing over the start line right now. We're next to side with Mark. The Honda goes extremely wide onto the grass, and now we're sitting behind the Aston Martin, which I'm pretty sure is Alan right here. So I don't know this track that well when it comes to the name, so I will do my best. I do actually have a picture, funny enough, next to me of the track, so I will do my best to name all the corners. So we're going past Starkey's Bridge right now. We do have a aerial shot to start off with, kind of just showcasing everything going on, looking all nice and glorious. Coming up towards the Capiz right here, coming around the right here, I go really wide, and then Mr. Mark behind us right here giving us quite a lot of pressure just to start of the race, doing our best to hold off right here, coming towards the S's. We do get just back in front of him, kissing the curb, and actually doing quite a big distance here. Now with Alan in front of us, Mr. Wesley, we are doing our best to keep up with him. Now he is a insanely fast driver. I'm pretty sure in my standard he's an alien because he's just gonna go and disappear off in the distance, but we are gonna do our best to keep Mark away from us and do our best to catch Wesley. I've actually only done about, I think it was 2 hours of practice, or maybe even an hour. I did around about 15 laps or so around this track beforehand. I didn't actually watch a video. Turn 1 is an absolute pain for me, the red gate turn 1, and then the craner curves. I handle these really nicely. This corner coming up is called the old hairpin. I got no idea why it's called a old hairpin, because it's definitely not a hairpin. You take it in third gear and you actually ride it quite fast. This is Starkey's Bridge because the bridge over there has been knocked down, and then this is McLean's right here. This is a pretty technical track as well when it comes to some of the lines that you can take to carry a lot of speed through these turnings. You have to ride the curbs to a certain point and put the power on early. Like that, I put the power on early, almost lost it going around Capiz right there. And now this is Starkey Straight, and then we got the S's, which is right here. This little tire barrier thing right there is actually not a solid object, so you can actually take off back. I think someone just took it off in the background just there. This is the Melbourne hairpin, cutting around the corner just like so. We do have Mark directly behind us. I'm pretty sure Mr. Wesley in front of us is toying right now. He is an absolute bullet when it comes to this track. I'm just gonna ruin it right now. This guy is just super fast. So right now in front of us, well, behind us, we have got Mr. Omachi, which is Mark, and then we have O'Brien, Sarah back in the Bentley. So right now, what I'm basically trying to do is use Mr. Wesley's toe as much as possible, but he's already too far for me to really utilize the toe right here. And now I need to worry about Mr. Omachi behind me, try and build as much distance as I can away from him, because again, he is a very fast driver. This is the first time I've done a league with these guys as well, so I don't actually know what their pace is like. I've got into this from a guy called Deej TV. He invited me to this group and I became part of this group, and this is again my first race as I couldn't make the other one due to work. So coming round now the Capiz, we are putting the power on early, trying to get our foot down and trying to follow his line in front as much as we can, even though we can't really see it that much. If we can follow him, we might be able to keep up with him, or even utilize some of his mistakes if Mr. Wesley actually makes any mistakes, which I'm pretty sure is a negative one. Braking here just after the board, in between the two boards on the left hand side, swinging it round in first, putting the power on as early as you can after the hairpin, and then carrying it over towards Goodhart's. On here, you see that little line just there with the tarmac on it. That's the braking point. Swallow it through, follow it through in gear 2. You can't pull it on too early here, that I noticed, because I always seem to lose the back end. Someone coming out of the pits, definitely need to watch out for that person. Here, for me, this is the hardest corner on this track. Getting it right, you gain so much speed. But if you enter it too fast, you overshoot, you lose a lot of speed. Or if you just don't accelerate fast enough, the craner curves down here do not carry enough speed realistically for you to, utilize it all. Braking, well, way too late for me here. But you actually want to brake that board back there. The 50-meter board away from the hairpin. So coming now into McLean's, taking it wide, hitting the apex a little bit too much right there, and we actually do a little bit of a wiggle, and there we go. We're now sandwiched in between Sarah and Mark. So this is now an issue for me. I don't want to be here. I want to be in front of these guys and leaving them in the dust. There we go, passing the back marker just there. Nicely moved over for us. And now the goal right here is to catch Mark. Try and build a big enough gap with Sarah behind us so we don't have to worry about her towing. So coming into the Melbourne hairpin again, this one is very easy to overshoot. And if you do, you surprisingly lose a lot of time, that I found when I was doing my practice. So you can see the tarmac on the right there. Brake, you cannot actually enter that curve too early on the right side, because it does kick your car up into the air and you actually lose a lot of traction. Again, putting my foot down slightly too early. When it comes to the red gate and this corner, you want to kind of get over to the left hand side, brake just there, and then you want to follow it round to the right. You kind of don't really want to have full acceleration, just enough where you can keep traction, and then have the revs up high enough where you can get away quite fast. Now when it does come to the craner curves and the old hairpin, this is where Mark struggled a lot, and I can actually catch up to him somewhat when it came to these corners. He always seems to overshoot the hairpin, and now we are just playing a good old bit of catch up, because, well, we are, third place, and this is actually where we qualified, so technically we're not up or down a position. But I'm pretty sure that I am faster than Mark in this race, and I want to get back ahead of him and not get too far behind with the toe. So coming down Starkey Straight with this little lip just here, just after the one board, you want to brake. That's your braking marker. And then right here, you can eat a lot of the green turf and not get any of the penalties. Mark here goes defensive. We're on the outside. Hopefully we can do the switcheroo, but no. He plants it quite nicely on that, and I decide to follow him through. Not put him under too much pressure, because if he spins out, then that means that we have a bigger gap towards Wesley. And the thing is, if Mark is actually going to be quicker than us, it then gives us the opportunity to follow Mark. He might actually be able to catch Wesley and, well, give us in the running, because then he could probably put Wesley under pressure and hopefully forcing a mistake. But you can see right here, Mark is making a wee bit of a mistake there, going a bit too deep and slow into that corner, so we are right up behind him, adding a lot of pressure onto this guy. When you are this close to someone, it does put a lot of pressure onto them, making mistakes. The only downside is when you are that close, you have to be very careful, very quick when it comes to your throttles and your brakes. You don't want to take someone out. This is a friendly course. These are nice guys. You can push them, but it's all about respect. You don't want to push where a bit too much and hopefully go wide and push them off. Going past Capiz right there, kissing it perfectly. Accelerator just on point. I'm pretty sure that's one of the best corners that I've done in a while. Now moving ahead to lap 10, as it did take us quite a significant amount of time to actually catch up with Mark, because he was actually slowly pulling away. As you can see, catching up on the trainer curves and the old hairpin. There's Starkey's bridge there on the left hand side. Slowly catching them up, hopefully through McLean's, just like so. Braking slightly early for him. You want to take that in gear 2 and ride this green curve, not too much because it is quite slippy. Braking just halfway up the hill there, eating the right turf just on the Capiz, and then you want to kind of floor it almost directly after you hit that as well. And normally third gear is a pretty good point. Braking just over the crest here, down to third, taking it quite deep into those corners. But in that case, I actually lost it because I went slightly too deep. Funny enough, we didn't actually get any sort of penalty right there for the hairpin. Taking it too deep again into the Melbourne hairpin. And now there is such a huge gap between Mark and myself. All that work that I did for those 5 laps to do my best to keep up with him is now gone in the dust. He did go a bit too deep there, or a bit too tight there, as you can see with the grass. So hopefully he's got some dirty tires, which is going to slow him down. Again, we need to go nice and deep. Use as much track as we can into Redgate, taking it wide. You kind of just want to like aim for that green turf. There I accelerated too early and carried too much speed through that corner, which then meant that I actually overshot it. So coming down through the Craner curves, braking it just after that 100-meter board or 50-meter board, whatever that board is on the right. I'm pretty sure it's actually the 50. And then carrying it through Starkey's Bridge, turn 5 and turn 6. You can take these really fast, braking that 50 board on the left, and then you don't want to turn in too early when it comes to McLean's. You want to make sure you kind of hit that second hairpin, because it's like almost two hairpins, two apexes with that corner. You don't want to take it too tight because you want the runoff up towards Capiz. Now down Starkey's straight, if you can get Capiz pretty good. I'm most probably saying that wrong, by the way. If I'm not, please let me know. If I am, let me know how I say it correctly. If you get Capiz just right, you get really good speed down Starkey's straight. Now we're going to be skipping ahead to lap 21. We have finally caught up to Mark. This is a 45-minute race, by the way, so we are 14 minutes left of this race. Also, the track temperature is actually really hot, so I actually had to lower down my my wheels PSIs compared to what they were actually base, so they would be sitting at that just a sweet 27s. But now we are behind Mark. I am actually going to try and put as much pressure as I can on this guy. I know that he doesn't do that well under pressure when we're right behind him, just like so. He does, I'm assuming, spending quite a bit of time looking in his mirror at us. So I'm going to try and do a bit of like going in, trying to, like, I'm going to fake lunge on the guys, see if we can get him to either do a counter move coming out, which is going to slow him down, which is, you know, the plan. And one of the most important things is when you are following someone is to continue racing your own line and don't race the line of the person in front, because if they make a mistake, you make a mistake. So coming through, we are still in third. Sarah is still behind us, quite some time behind us apparently, as there's still no timestamp between myself and her down the bottom. But we are coming up past Starkey's Bridge now. McLean's just here in front of us. Sarah's 12 seconds behind us. Mark's going very wide there, made a mistake, almost the same position or the same place that I did, but he did hold that off a lot better than I am. We are going side by side down Starkey Straight. He did get the better line through, which does mean that he will be faster. We did give him the position back because we do, again, no offense Mark, he's not very good under pressure when it does come to this. I did follow him down the racing line. That is why you should not follow someone else's racing line when you are following them. He is going extremely defensive right here. Hopefully we can get him back with the switcheroo, but nope, we didn't. I didn't really do it right. You meant to go wider and carry more speed, but yeah. So coming down towards Goodard's, hopefully he's going to take us a bit wide here. You can see there's like a double apex there. We are actually in first, which isn't actually what you want to do, in my opinion, when it comes around Goodard's. And now we know in sector 3 we are actually slowing down compared to this guy here. So going wide, Mark again going quite wide into Redgate right there, going through turn 2 towards the Craner curves. Now we, again, like I've said earlier in the video, this is where he makes the mistakes, and I'm trying my best to get as close as I can to him along this section, because again, pressure is extremely key in this situation. I can't pass him. He's a very fast driver down the straights. The Ferrari just trumps the Audi in my opinion. So coming through here, coming through McLean's, taking it tight as normal, still following him up through Capiz, pulling him round to the right. So you can see I'm getting as close as I can through here, switching to gear 2. I don't know why I did that. I think it was because of my speed and I was getting a bit worried. As you can see, my face up the top right there is just like, what are you doing, mate? braking just after the 50 board, cutting as much AstroTurf as the Audi would actually let me before it spins out into the grass again. Coming up and over to Melbourne, we are definitely getting closer and closer, pretty much perfecting Melbourne. Just there, I did actually have to slow down because we were kind of close to Mark right there. Mr. Matchy poured it through. When it comes to Goddard's, he's taken it very wide through that one, maybe to try and get some speed off into the distance. Not enough to actually put away from us, because he is actually sucking us along right now. Very nice of you. Braking just after the pit or exit, and then forward it through red gate, going down towards the Carina curves. You want to take this, you actually want to eat the curves on the right when you are going through the Carina curves, because it's more straighter line. So here we are in third person, braking at the 50 board, taking it nice. Mark right there did take it nice, but just keeps drifting wide when it comes to the old hairpin. And we are now catching up. You can tell that pressure's there on the guy. It might not be, but right here he does an absolute spin out. See you later. 90 degrees, looking at us through his mirror. And now we basically have the home stretch right here. Sarah's 14 seconds behind, and now all I need to do is hold off Mark. You can see my face is absolutely aesthetic up the sort of right hand corner, filled with joy, grinning ear to ears. You can tell that's pretty much sarcasm, but I am pretty happy with myself right there that he spun out. I would have liked to actually fought him normally and maybe tried to do a pass, but then he's span out in front of us. So here we are. This is the final lap. The leader has gone over. Mark is now 15 seconds behind. Sarah's now 16 seconds behind. And then you got Mr. Askam and Sarah most probably fighting. So now we got some back markers. This is the final lap. I will just say, guys, I'm going to let this play out. Thank you very much for watching. Any comments or anything about the commentary, any tips you guys can give me or that you'd like to see, any games, any cars specifically? The Audi is my baby. I will be honest with you, it's the one that I've been practicing most with, because I know that it's that one that, you know, you need to stick with a car so you end up having that that synergy with the vehicle. But I will say thank you very much to the Valley Racing Discord for letting me be part of this one. Next week is KOORUI, so we are going to be hitting this up again. Hopefully we'll have this video out actually on time, because it's actually meant to be out on Sunday, not Tuesday, which is today. Yeah, it was actually meant to come out sooner, but it just kind of got delayed due to IRL stuff. But guys, again, big love. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a like on the video and click that sub button. Every little helps, just as this taught us. You guys have a great day, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.